Crap, I just realized. Even though I am going live, I completely realized my hair was not in a good area, but I gotta say, I do look good post beard, jeez. Wondering like half time should I have kept it or not. But either way. Maybe I should buy a Canadian lumberjack shirt. That's cool. Okay, back to farming. Oh, by the way, guys, we still have a few achievements outstanding. So we got the Garrison Campaign achievement and the Daily achievement for Dragonflight and for Draenor. So I did those today, so those are already done. So I don't have to worry about them for another day/week. But if you guys are wondering how the other ones are going at the moment, I think I've got 3 out of 8 on the Garrison Campaign, and I've got for 5 out of 8 on the Dragonflight part. So Dragonflight will hopefully be done in the next few days or so. And the campaign one, well, won't be done until like probably late, like early February at best. Because I still got to wait 5 more weeks, even after this one. So it'll be done like probably during pre-patch, I suppose. Okay, let's go. With the herbs and whatnot, I don't want to really like loot them at the same time doing this. Or like even the mining as well. I guess I could, but I don't know what I need as per se from the mining. Or blacksmithing or whatnot. To be fair, you know, I could just farm it later on my DH if it's like, you know, elemental fires and whatnot, and farm it on this guy if it's everything else. That's a pet battle, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Oh no, that's the daily quest here. I also got to keep an eye on how much logs I have, because I saw I had like 500 before, and I was expecting to only have like 200 or so. So always got to keep an eye on it just in case. Like a lot of these mini races and whatnot in different areas that, you know, never really became big or never really did anything. Obviously, as you can see, Sporagar being one of them. So they're one of the new races that exist because of BC. They don't exist in Draenor because obviously Zengar Marsh is half underwater. As I said before, the one big thing with difference between Draenor and obviously BC is that Garradar exists here and Garradar doesn't exist in Draenor. So Garradar exists here, but in Draenor it's Sunspring Post, which is their main outpost. There's obviously a lot more extra little posts along Nagrand as well. There's obviously their little hut here, their wagon for the Ancestral, where you meet Sorafang the Younger, I believe. Yeah, there he is, Sorafang the Younger. obviously with Southang the Younger, he dies in Wrath of Lich King. Also the 4th boss in Ice Crown Citadel. So this is where you meet Altruis the Sufferer. Or Altruis. So basically in BC you get a quest to go to. I think it's either at 66 or 67. I think it's 66 actually, I'm not sure. And it's like, basically you get a missive from a dude in Garadar. And he tells you to come here basically where Altruis is. I think Altruis is around here with his Neverdrake. He's like literally the coolest night elf there is. I don't know where he is, but he's around here somewhere. And he basically tells you to like spy on the Legion and whatnot. Like using his Neverdrake and whatnot. I remember when back in the day, Neverdrakes were like really cool to get and whatnot. Like, you know, everyone was wanting to get one. This is before the Neverwing rep released. I'm trying to find Altruis actually, because he is around here somewhere. There he is, there's Altruis. Okay, that's obviously the first Demon Hunter you really encountered, that's good. So yeah. And this is Sunspring Post, which is being attacked by Broken, basically. So with Altruis is a rare quest where like you can't start this quest until you're level 65 or level 66 in BC. Now also these guys here, you want to kill these guys during the during BC. Like you want to kill these guys because they drop a quest for you as well, which is the Merkblood attack plans, which evolves into a chain. You know how I kept saying there's a lot of chains that you need to go to other zones for? There's a few of them here. There's also another one here as well. There's a quest in Shatrath, which sets up this chain, where you go down here and quell the people who quell those guys. Here's the Consortium as well. Consortium, this is the first time you encounter the Consortium on this area. The next time's obviously in the Netherstorm and in Blade's Edge Mountains. Grek try. There's a quest in here where one of the dumb orcs, you get mana oil as a reward from the chain, but like you're getting a lender seeds, which is on the ground in Terraka, and you're trying to test it. You try to test the oil for Grek, and Grek is an orc who can't read, like a warrior and whatnot. And like he tries to put the oil on his weapon, he just basically says, "No, this doesn't work on my weapon," because obviously he's a warrior, not a caster. And you get a mana oil as the reward. Obviously, Grek is only available to the Horde. Okay, Grek is an orc warrior. And you get a quest to, like, help him out and whatnot. I think I've done mostly the Horde side. BC, Horde side on BC, but Alliance, I haven't done much of the Alliance side on BC. But somehow I know all those tips and tricks about how you can do the Horde mining, the Horde mining quest. It's like every side in Hellfire Peninsula has a mine, and only Alliance can do both quests. Because the quest giver for the Horde one is a Goblin, and and he's also part of the Goblin faction where he's neutral to both. So you can do both. So he's part of the, I think he's part of it's either Booty Bay or Steamweedle Cartel. So it's actually quite funny. So there's also a quest here. And the only way to get a quest here is if you have Outdoor. And this is the worst part. Since Outdoor does a lot of its Terracar quests early, it doesn't tell you have quests here from Outdoor until you hit level 64. But like when you get to Terracar, you're already... Sorry, 65. But when you get to Terracar, you're already 60... Like in the Outer quest, you're like 62, 63. Like I said, it was one of the most frustrating things is realizing you have an Outdoor quest here. But basically what you do, you burn all the huts here. Now also another thing as well is that people don't know is that if you're Outdoor, you can access Shatterer City through this way. So you can enter Nagrin like this if you've got Outdoor. So if you're part of Outdoor, you can go to Nagrin like that. So if you do need to get to Nagrand to do this quest, you can go through the upper path because the Scries don't have access to it. Now obviously you don't get flying in BC until max level, which is level 70. So that's why that's kind of important. And that's why Outdoor is really, really strong early on. Exactly because of that. Because you get to Nagrin really, really quickly. Mainly strong for Horde because it's close to Garadar. Alliance not too strong because you end up here, which you just go to Talar, which is this way. But it is very, very strong for Horde because it's close to Garadar. There's also back in the day where most zones only had like one flight point as well, as you can see here. Like it only has Talar. I think this expansion was like fueled expansions where there was multiple flight points in a zone. Yeah, for example, it's like the first time there was multiple flight points in a zone. As you can see here, because a lot of them only had one from time to time and may have had two other times. Like in Eastern Kingdoms now, you can see, for example, like if we go to EK, we go to like Stranglethorn Vale, there's like 4 flight paths in a zone. Used to be not the case. Actually, this is another one where there's only... Oh, never mind, it's because it's BC. We got WOD activated. If we change that, it'll be multiple. As you can see here, like all these zones have like multiple flight points and whatnot. Because like they changed this quite a bit to make sure they have multiple flight points now. Because like basically back in the old days, this was the only flight point and that's it for Alliance. You didn't have this or that. And in Burning Steps, this is the only flight point you got. You didn't have Chisel Grip or Flamestar's Post. And Searing Gorge, all you got was Forian Point and that's it. And in Badlands, like there was no flight points to here. Like there was no flight points at all in Badlands for Alliance. You came down from Felsmar and that's it. There was no flight point here. So like you can see like where Blizzard have done to like really streamline the leveling process and really cut down on travel time, because basically players want to be doing things, not fucking like walking it forever to a objective or whatnot. And I gotta say, a lot of people who have like no time on their hands and just like essentially knee-jerk react to everything are always like, you know, oh, it's made it worse, it made it bad, it made it stupid. I'm like, no, it made it better. It gave a much needed longevity to the game. Of course, at some sacrifice, but it did, give a lot of longevity to WoW in particular. Because if you ever want to see how terrible some quests were, you just play BC as a time walking and you'll get to a quest where like the quest item is like a 30-second cooldown. And you got to get like 8 of them. Which I can tell you right now isn't very fun. But this is also one of the best zones in the game. Like this is where they started building zones off in the future. Because Nagrin had one of the best circuits in the game for questing. Like, basically, its zone was like, you get, like, you know, 15 to 20 quests, complete them all, you get them all again, and you do another circuit, and then you did half a circuit to finish off the zone. And it's also one of the most relaxing and aesthetically pleasing zones as well, as you can see here, like, very aesthetically pleasing. And also, even though most of the quests were kill quests and, like, put disguises on and whatnot, and fetch quests, like, at the end of the day, it's probably one of the better zones that Blizzard had made overall. They also had one of the worst zones in the game, which is Blade's Edge Mountains, which they've obviously learned a lot of as well. Blade's Edge Mountains has very few quests at the beginning, and, like, some of the quests are just utter dog shit. And, like, basically dying in Blade's Edge Mountains, especially in certain parts, because they did fix this in the 0.1 patch. Like, for example, if you died here in Blade's Edge Mountains... No, actually, if you died here in Blade's Edge Mountains, the nearest spirit rest was, like, here, where you had to go up and then go all the way here. Which took you, I guess, there and now was like a 5-minute run to your corpse. Like, it was better to ask for a res than it was to run back half the time. And they changed it. They put a spirit healer there because it's just ridiculous. Because, like, you could die there. There was a few quests that were there, but it's just like, if you died there, you spent 6 minutes running back as well. And that area was prone to a lot of two-pulls as well, like where you could accidentally two-pull mobs. And there's also, like, and not to mention as well, there's actually mobs in the cavern. Like, if you wanted to skip it to do the quest outside the cavern, you still had to kill those mobs to get there. It was a bit of a dog's breakfast, which I'm glad they fixed. But then there was also some good zones, like the Neverstorm, Shadowmoon Valley was alright. Hellfire Peninsula was probably one of the best zones that they started an expansion with. Like, even though there's points of Hellfire Peninsula which needed a bit more linear work and whatnot, like, need a bit more, because, like, some of the parts of Hellfire Peninsula, you retreaded the same area twice to do similar quests. So it wasn't that great from that perspective. But, like, when you get to Hellfire Peninsula for your first time in BC, especially if you're playing Classic, it was just amazing. Let's just put it that way. It was just jaw-dropping. Like, let's put it this way, like, how good it was. Like, you go to this red wasteland, you see, like, Fel Guards and Pit Lords attacking your troops. You see, like, the planets and the stars, like, you know, it feels like, I don't know, it feels like a completely different place than what you've been in Classic, basically. And, like, if you read the quest text and whatnot, it's like, you know, we need you, soldier, whatnot, go to report to this guy, see what you're doing, go report to this guy, and then go report to Nazgul, who's the commander here. And then that puts you into a quest to, like, fend off, like, infernals and whatnot. It feels like you're in an absolute war zone, basically. And then give you, like, bombing missions and whatnot. And then, basically, yeah, like, it's a full-blown storyline. And then you get into, like, the other areas, like Zango Marsh and Terakar Forest and whatnot, and it's a lot less calmer from, like, the initial Hellfire Peninsula, where it's just, like, an absolute raging battleground. And then it builds up, like, the story in depth from within that aspect of it. Now, if you're unaware here, this is where Spire of Iraq is. Like, in Draenor, this is where Spire of Iraq is. And it shows here that you can see, like, some of the Hawk Striders and Bird Striders and whatnot down this area. Because there's a Lost Plane Strider in this area, which is used for hunters to tame a Plane Strider of high level. And this is where the Arakoa were. So the advanced Arakoa, who were the flight birds, didn't live because obviously Spires of Iraq fell apart, and they were also killed by the Horde. Well, I suspect they were killed by the Horde, because, like, obviously the Bloodlust Horde killed a lot of people. So in Draenor, a key difference, especially of the Ogres, is that in Draenor, the Horde allied of the Ogres, in the other one, so in this planet, I believe the Horde didn't ally with the ogres. They subjugated the ogres. That's what I believe happened. But I'm not, don't quote me on that. I'm not terribly too sure. But I believe that was what was happened. Wait, here it is, Sorrowing Point. You can see the lost dudes here. So if you wanted to get a Hawk Strider, you came here. And it just shows that, like, you know, this is what the, this is what happened to the bird people, basically. Now, also another thing as well with the bird people is that Turok was, so in Draenor, the player character doesn't make sure that Turok isn't corrupted and that Turok leads his people. In BC, Turok never does that because the player character obviously isn't there. And Turok is corrupted by Seth, which is the serpent god of the Arakoa. Or Arakoa. So that's why the Arakoa in the service of Sethek in this one is because they Terek was corrupted, basically. And like with the help of like Relic Redeemed and whatnot, which you find in here, you free some more some of the Arakoa from Sethek control. Because they also tell you that Turok was corrupted as well. So obviously in Draenor you can make sure that the birds follow Turok and defeat Seth, which is the serpent god, or Sethek basically. And also in the end as well, what happens is Iskar, so in Draenor in particular, Iskar's not happy that that you deny them their chance to go back to bird form, which is what Sethek promised. And he decides to go with Gul'dan and stuff like that, and Kilrog Deadeye, and they basically promise him an eye that would give him wings. And what happened in the end is he never got any wings. He died wingless. So he just wanted to go back to being an Ascendant. And what is an Ascendant is it's an Arakoa with wings, basically. Like they can fly. Like they were like some of the birds were cursed to be wingless creatures, basically. Like kind of like the curse of flesh. But instead of becoming, you know, stone to flesh, they lost their wings, basically. Also, a very weird thing in Talador is that I don't think you have many wolves in this area. Compared to Terokkar Forest, where you have a lot of wolves in this area. So if you want to know the infancy of a mana bomb, so this is where the first mana bomb was made. So if you know, if you're talking about how Faramore was destroyed by a mana bomb, they got the technology from here. So basically there's a giant mana bomb in the middle of here, which they're channeling. And they dropped it on Cenarian Thicket, which is here. So that's how the technology evolved and how they got a mana bomb. And basically, I think it's Aphis went into here and got the technology on how to drop mana bombs and whatnot. And obviously Garrosh used it on Faramore. And that's how Aphis was, I think it's Aphis Sunweaver, was exiled from Dalaran because they found out that he gave the Horde their technology to do it. Which I gotta say was, you know, obviously... Also another thing as well, like, while I'm on a different topic, you can actually access Terokkar from the Razorthorn Shelf in Hellfire. So eventually, as a quest, you get a quest to come down here to get a few eggs. You can go into Terokkar this way. Not that it's ever used, though, I'll tell you that much. So yeah, that's another one as well. I guess I don't think I've seen any person or even myself have ever used that little way to get into Terracar for leveling at all. I may have used it a few times to get to, even while flying or walking, to get to Terracar quickly, but I've never actually used that point. Because like that area gets you to nowhere quickly. Like you don't get close to the Shatrath, you can go through Zenga Marsh down into Shatrath. You don't get to Valerian Stronghold quicker because like it's kind of similar distance. Actually, no, it's pretty quick, I guess, to get to Valerian Stronghold, but like not too much quickness. It was just not very good overall, that little place, compared to, of course, the High Road, which was like really goat. I also remember the ways to get into Blade's Edge Mountain, like Horde. Like Horde had to go in for an unknown path through this way to get there. Alliance have like literally a cave right here to get into. Like it was in their encampment as well, so you could just literally fly over, and a Horde had to like mount up and walk north from, I think, Swamp Rat Post. Because Swamp Rat Post is here. You would have to walk up through this cavern here to get to BAM. So obviously, as you can see with the giant walls and whatnot, this used to be a sea, essentially. There's also a rare quest here that has a really good enhanced weapon. Like enhanced shaman weapon, that like a lot of enhanced shamans targeted, like early on for leveling. Problem is that it has a 30-minute respawn timer. Or was it, no, it was 15 minutes. I think it was like 15 or 10-minute respawn timer. So like if it wasn't there, you just have to move on to other quests and try to find a replacement one-hander. There's Cenarian, I think it's Cenarian Expedition, I believe. There's Cenarian Expedition and Cenarian Circle. This is where you made Mooncloth, and you can make Primal Mooncloth as well. So basically, this is like the first expansion where Horde had a easily accessible Moonwell. Like, it's actually quite funny with Horde and trying to make Primal Mooncloth. There's only 2 places you could make it, because all the Alliance towns had all the Moonwells, because obviously Night Elf. So there's only 2 places to make it. One of them was in, where was it? One of them was in Ashenvale. There's a Moonwell down here somewhere, and that's where you made it. But there was also another place, I'm trying to figure of where, in Falinar, which is in 1K Needles. So Falinar used to exist here. The Moonwell was just away from, there was no guards in Falinar, so you could make it there, basically. And they were the only 2 places that Horde could do Mooncloth, because obviously the rest of it is owned by Alliance. And a lot of the Horde just did the Ashenvale Moonwell because it was the closest and there was no guards near it. So it was relatively easy to get to. Alliance had a really easy, like all Alliance had to do is literally just fly to a Night Elf city like Darkshore, for example, and it's just there. But this is the first time that Horde had a Moonwell in a city where they could literally, like, I don't think you can fly to Cenarian Refuge, but like they could fly and there's a Moonwell there. There was also another one in Sylvanar as well. So that they didn't, you know, it wasn't incredibly difficult to get a Mooncloth or a Primal Mooncloth done. I remember back in the day when, like, you know, I'm like, oh, just make a bit of Mooncloth, shouldn't be too hard. And one of the guys like, I didn't have to fly to Ashenvale, and I'm like, don't just use a Moonwell. And then I realized we weren't, we were a Horde, not Alliance. He's like, probably, I have to, he basically said we have to spend like 10 to 15 minutes. We're actually getting close to being done with this slumber, which I'm a bit surprised with. I have a feeling like the later ones will probably be more contested and whatnot. And to be fair, I probably decreased the amount that I needed by getting certain things as well. There we go. So you imagine if I was doing this on any other tune, I'd have, I think it would probably be like, probably be a lot less at the moment, given the fact that I had to use 1.5 seconds to mount up every single time. And also there was some mobs that obviously I'm fighting against. The funny part is, if this was any other, like, any other thingo, like, where I had to, like, farm and whatnot, like, any other log, I'd be done by now. But since I've got 2 different tree types of farm, you know, it's not done. Like, for example, if I was on, like, if I was doing, like, Dornagal or anything like that, I would have been done yesterday. The only one I wouldn't be close to being, would be barely done on would be Dragon Pine and Fell Touched. It's kind of ironic for Dragon Pine to be honest, given the fact I've got a lot of those things done already. Two seconds. And 920. Okay, cool. We're getting to the point where we've only got like 200 or so left, which is really, really good. Is that enough for her? No. Jeez, I've had 15 back-to-back 1 logs in a row, which I'd say that is over odds, but also expected at the same time. To be fair, yesterday was just nuts, where I was just getting I got 2 free logs back-to-back, which is insane chances. I think it's like 83% to get a 1 log. I think it's like 16 or 15% to get a 2 log, and then it's like 2% to get a free log. Which is why a lot of people have said, like, you know, something needs to change. You know, you can't have this sort of stuff. Well, like I said, you can't have this sort of stuff. Then also at the same time, it's like, if it was popular, that is, because, you know, if everyone was doing it, then this would be filled with people doing it. Because, like, not everyone gets their own shard like this. Well, not that I have my own shard. Like, not many people get their own shard, just an FYI, because this is an oceanic shard where like no one is doing the no one's doing the wood chopping. Because I haven't seen anyone today. We saw 2 people yesterday doing it. I haven't seen anyone today doing it. Obviously because it's New Year's. Fuck, I love these zones at times. It brings back memories of these zones. Like, holy shit. All the, like, I know all the quests here off by heart, man. Like, you know, what quests where, what quest is needed and whatnot. Like here, you get a quest to kill Talonites and whatnot, and the other mobs. And like, I think it's Talonites and Sorcerers. I think it's in one of the zones. Like here, like, you have to go to this one. I think it's one of the other ones. Grand Coral Village is not there. Grand Coral Village is here. There's obviously a bug here, obviously, as you can see here. Because Grand Coral Village is here. Not there. Now obviously you can now compare Turim to what it is now. So Turim's obviously an Alliance city. Sorry, not Alliance city, a Draenei city. I think it's here, like, there's a specific mob that you can't find unless you go to here. Can't remember what they're called. It's not the Wing Guards. Maybe it's back at the start. There's a specific mob that you can only find there. You also have to kill the Warp Stalkers as well as the Basilisk. There's also an elite Basilisk that Pat's on this end here that you gotta kill for his eye. Yeah, there he goes, the Stone Gazer. He can actually be quite hard to solo. Because of his stun, obviously, and if you're not a plate wearer, he does like a lot of damage. I really should have There's actually the funny part here is I've never really been to Illyrian Stronghold. Like, I've never really done... I think I've done a few quests here and whatnot, but, like, it's not really memorable, considering I just remember the Horde side a lot more. Funnily enough is, they changed the models of these. In BC, their models is just a basic Ancient of War. So that model has definitely changed. I've also made the Dreadfang Widow spiders look a bit cooler as well. There's an escort quest here for one of the best pets in the game, Icky. Down here. So if you do Skywing's little escort quest, it gives you Mini Wing. And that, I think that results you in getting Icky as far as I know. Or have I got Icky wrong? No, Icky is the equivalent in, what was it? Icky is the equivalent in Wars of Draenor. Like, Icky is, Skywing's, father, basically. I thought it was here that you got Icky, but no, it isn't. It's where you get Icky, where you get Mini Wing, which is Icky's, Icky's, son, grandson or son. So basically with this quest here, like you have to kill termites by killing these mobs. Like once these mobs die, it's termite pulled out. And you had to kill the termites. It was relatively easy. The quest when you got to Nagrid was basically pushing the ogres back. You also got a quest here to push back the Arakoa as well. I think you set this one ablaze. There's a quest to set Valilific ablaze. And then if you're Horde or Alliance, I think it's Horde most likely that you get a quest to clear out the ogres and the Bleeding Hollow runes. I think Horde you get this from another area, but I don't know where the Alliance equivalent is actually. Because Kilrath is around here. And like people expected Kilrath to kill the ogres by himself basically. I think Kilrath is around here hiding behind a bush. Where is he? Yep, there he is. Kilrath obviously ends up being the winter grasp general. Little Horde. I'm trying to remember where he goes in the end. I think he dies with Garrosh, obviously. I know Kilrath is still alive, even in Dragonflight. He is still alive. I'm surprised Kilrath is still alive, given the fact he is, well, he did avoid Garrosh. I'm surprised he's still alive, given, like, the Magha orcs and whatnot. Like, a lot of the, Horde that were loyal to, Garrosh obviously died in Mists of Pandaria or, Warlords of Draenor. Another one was Zalia, of course, who rescued in Cataclysm and died in Warlords as well, being the last boss of Uber S. A lot of orcish lore here. I wonder if you get to the old UBRS actually. Now that I think about it, since obviously with the expansion. Because obviously you can get to old Scarlet Halls and old Scarlet Monastery and old Scholar Mats, the secrets and whatnot. A lot of people someone's actually in this thread, because I was looking at it, someone's in this thread wanting to bring back the old sunken temple. Oh god. There are some people who are very masochistic in wanting to bring that back. Just an FYI, the old sunken temple was not fun, okay? Like, literally, you needed to kill about, I think it was like 4 to 6 mini bosses before you got a boss that dropped loot. And also, Sunken Temple was like, no one ran it other than for quests, and that's it. Because, like, it took so long before you could get into any bosses that had loot. And the only people who did it was for their class quest. They gave, you know, a class-related trinket. I thought you could get to old Uber S by going through LBR. Oh no, it's right, they made LBRS a separate instance as well. God, there are so many people butthurt about it. God. Bless the people who want the old versions of Sunken Temple back. I really bless the people who are like, oh, I want the old sunken temple back. I really bless them, okay? Like, I don't know. I don't think they want, like, they must be the only person in existence who wants old sunken temple back. Because old sunken temple was just, I don't know, a lot of people want like certain things classic back. I don't know how their mind works. Like, I really don't, because I'm just like sitting there like, that was the most unfun dungeon I have ever done, or stuff like that. They also want old RFK. Oh my god. Anyone wanting old RFK wasn't too bad. But the new RFK is really good. Like, the new RFK is a big upgrade over it. One thing I do agree with is them bringing back the old ZG as Time Walking Dungeon. Old ZG was actually a pretty fun instance. But you can get into old ZG. But you can't, I haven't unlocked it yet though. Ah, okay, yeah, this is the Shattered Hikari Bijou. I haven't done that yet, or better start getting to do it. Oh, okay, so you can collect the transmogs, but you can't collect the finger. Okay, got it. I just realized you can get the old ZG transmogs. I did not know that. I do want to get the Fish Terminator. I remember that back in the day being really, really good feral druids. Okay. I did not realize you could make the old ZG stuff now. That's awesome. Some of the old ZG stuff did look pretty good though. But some of it looked arse. Ooh, big freezer then. So I've been distracted there. I was looking at the old ZG and how to activate it. I'll put it this way, I wasn't really focusing too much on you guys. Funny thing though, okay, about that one, okay? I got a 3 times and a 2 times on those logs. I gotta say, time has really flown by with these logs, like, you know, basically I wouldn't imagine how quick this would go, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to think of what to do next, and I have a feeling I should probably do Northrend next. And then I can do Kata and Classic at the same time, because I can just, like, fly between zones. To be fair, I feel like Kata is going to be really, really difficult, given the fact that, it's not all in one area. Like, you can go to different zones and whatnot to do it. To be fair, I probably think Hydra is probably the best zone to do it. Like Hedjar would be probably Hydra would be probably the best zone to do it. Because obviously there's a lot of trees everywhere. And the second best zone would obviously be Twilight Highlands. $150 to go. Got a big free as well. That's huge. Unfortunately, nothing there. Bom, bom, bom. Sorry, I saw one of my emails pop up on the left for my work email. And I thought one of my clients had responded to me, but no, it's a different thing. Work. I'm not sure we got. I don't know, at this stage, I keep looking at my inventory, and expecting it to go up by 100, and I'm like, come on, Josh, you just gotta keep farming the logs, and before you know it, you'll be there. Oh my god. Is that Negrin? No, that's the other entrance to Terracar, isn't it? Yeah, it is. There's 2 entrances, funnily enough, to Terracar to get to, oh no, that's the Negrin entrance, never mind. It's the other Negrin entrance. This is another entrance to Negrin as well. I think this puts you, in a different area. Yeah. Oh, this is the Nezingri entrance, never mind. There's also a hidden quest here as well. So there's a hidden quest where if you come here at a certain time in the day, there is a person about to kill you here. About to kill another dude. So what you do is you kill them. And also get rid of these as well. But if you kill them and then... So basically kill them and you get a quest from this thing. And then you hand it into Harold Lane. So if you come here at the right time of day, you can save that chick from the undead rogue. And you get a quest and you hand it in. It's actually like a lot of free experience in BC. Like, I think it's a free quest experience. And it's only for just killing one mob. And she stays alive for quite a while. So it's not like she gets killed in like 2 hits. She stays alive for like a good 3 to 5 minutes. So if you're coming back to Neziwaries and she's there fighting Gankly Rotten Fist, you can kill him and get the quest done. Let's keep watching. I think we got a tree here. Yep, we do. If you want to get like a lot more, like Eternium ore and like Motify and Earth, you just got to smash the Fell Iron. The Fell Iron always has so much of it. Let's go. Okay, stop looking at it. I gotta stop looking at the finger. I think about 130 to go now. Reason why it's 130 is because you gotta trade 5-year logs for the BC logs. So we need 420 logs rather than 416. Yeah, it's this one. If we find out anything that needs like other than the obviously crafts, if it needs like raw materials, we can probably get it on this go. Unless oh no, I don't think my paladin's an alchemist, but unless the alchemist catalysts are tradable, my paladin is like, I think it's like 1,200 alchemical catalysts that I made via the trading post. I just realized I got over 30,000 achievement points. Just realized that. There you go. I remember this back in the day. So like there's obviously a PvP arena above, but there's also stuff in here as well. So basically you got a lot of quest chains to kill these muck spirits. And the other part is killing the ogres here as well. To be fair, with Halar Halal was only worth doing the first dust hand in, and that's it for the experience. Because afterwards they awarded like, I think it was like 2k experience. It was like 27k for the first one, or 17k, and it was like 2.7k or 1.7k for each one afterwards. Like if you had 20 dust or so. So like if you did it, like if you got the halal, you already had like 100 dust. You might as well just hand it in, but you just didn't get so much from it. But you did want to get, because there was a weapon, like a very, very good weapon from the halal vendor. If you got like at least 5 of the commentations, you can just buy it, and it's actually relatively good. There's also a lesser version of it on the vendor, which is like a limited buy, which you could purchase as well, which is what I did. Because it's a very good 2-hand upgrade for like a rep paladin. I just realized what I got 2 of on Dream State. Yeah. I feel like I should have gone to Zenga Marsh on that one. Nah, it's Terracotta Forest, that's right. This is the original Ring of Blood, by the way. Funnily enough, the same person as the final boss, which is Mogul. Look at these tower bucks. These tower bucks back in the day, you just wanted to get a tower buck mount. Like you had to get exalted with Magkar or Kurunai to get it. In particular, there's the white war tower buck, which looked really, really awesome. And the other one was the black war tower buck, and there's also a grand black war tower buck as well, which you had to get from grinding Kalar stuff. Wait a second. Oh yeah, there's also a goblin here as well on a consortium recruiter to go to that consortium area down here. The weird part is, like, if you didn't have your Oshigan quests, like the quest chain, like, it works really, really well with it, but if you didn't have the, like, full Oshigan quest chain, you had to go to Oshigan twice, which was relatively annoying. Ooh, almost under 100. I'm actually surprised, like, you know, a lot of these, like, things I expect them to take ages and whatnot are not taking so long as I feared that they'll expect to take. To be fair, probably the big thing that'll take longer to take would probably be trying to find a crafter for all of these. Like, with the level working, it's okay. I do have a few characters that can craft it. And just do it through the Warbound Bank. But there's a few areas that I don't have. And what I'm surprised with as well, that my Paladin has full classic enchanting. I didn't know he had that, to be honest. But yeah, the inscription one's gonna be a bit of a pain because I don't think any of my toons have inscription. But should be easy enough. Not, like I said, not much has happened in the Burning Crusade for a while, actually, like in Outlands. Other than you, like, find Thrall before the next expansion, he's in the Outlands chilling. So I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think for the Horde and Alliance, like where people are. So I think I have a feeling that Nazgul is no longer in the Outlands. The one of Thrall's generals. And obviously a lot of the Arator and Alliance people are no longer in the Outlands as well. Don't have Trollbane as well. And obviously Illyria. Like, everyone that's meant to be in the Outlands is no longer in the Outlands. Next expansion should be like Journey back to the Outlands. As like, you know, how's gone forward since then. To early US friendly stream? Yeah, it is. Just collecting wood at the moment. Wood for my decor. Almost done with BC and Draenor. And of course, I've got the Druid with the wood cutting, carrying the axe in its beak. Who would have thought that the most attuned to nature class would be the best at wood cutting? Look at these trees that I'm wood cutting. They're spires of Arakia. But yeah, we are kind of close to finishing here. We just need 90 more wood, then we're donezo's. With all the decor. Like with all the wood for the BC and WOD decor. Ooh, a giant spider. What have you been up to today, mate? Anything much? Also, someone brought up the hardcore stuff. I'm like, not hardcore stuff, I brought it up actually. About like, you know, what you're happy about this year, and I'm like, the hardcore 60. That was huge, getting a 60 on hardcore. Now, anytime someone's like, oh, hardcore's a hard, you know, hardcore classic's hard, I'll be like, nah, go to 60, it's not that hard. So easy, bro. Stressful, but easy. Now in the double digits now, for the logging, just single didgeridoos now. Sorry, double didgeridoos. I do like the orc music here. Ooh. Ah. I was thinking I should be probably doing beta today to like test leveling and whatnot. But I'll you know, given how the decor is a bit easy to get, I think I'll do that first and then start really like I think what I'll do overall is just hammer down a path for the opening part of Silvermoon and like the opening zone of Eversong Woods. And then basically bit by bit get a path for like, you know, obviously do Arator's chain first. So you have a half back to, with no cooldown back to Silvermoon. But then get through like the Amani area and whatnot as well. I think to the surprise of no one, Haranier is going to be the last zone I do before going to the Void's Fire. But a Void Zone, or whatever it is, a Void Storm. Because like the Amani side requires you to do 2 delves and a fucking dungeon. And the dungeon is just annoying. Always remember to play DPS during the dungeon, not tank. Get your own 5-man group for it. Because some of the shit I've seen the DPS in the follower groups do have been quite heinous. Been quite out there, let's just put it that way. Shatraf City. We're in Shatraf City. This used to be the buzzing place back in the day. People would be dueling outside Shatraf City. Would be hustling and bustling. Now it's a desolate wasteland as everyone has moved on. Back in the before pre-patch Wrath Lich King days, people were just dueling here, like outside here. This is where they would duel. Now it's, you know, long gone. The abandoned areas of the Burning Crusade. Abandoned. Never, no one would ever return here ever again. Another thing here as well, Ikuno appears in Draenor. He's here as well. In the same area, man, that he was in what was Draenor. Let's go. We're gonna go to Zanga Marsh next, just doing this for a quick turn. There we go. Less than 60 now. For my last Nagrand, I think it's gonna be my last Nagrand call, but it won't be. I'm gonna say, have I been getting some in the mail? Because, what have I been getting in the mail? Yeah, I thought so. Okay. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. I do have to leave at like 3:30, which is in about 2 hours or so. But we'll get this done and then we'll go to Northrend. Like Northrend's the next area we'll go to. Okay, there we go. Is that mining or is that logging? Now it's mining. Should I do Shadowman Valley for a quick dip? Shadowman Valley doesn't have many trees, just an FYI. I've had, funnily enough, in Shadowman Valley at one point, I've had like a part of a tower be a loggable tree. And I'm like, it's a tower? I don't think that's a loggable tree in my standards. Nah, we gotta get out of here. There's Shadowman Valley, it's Shadowman Village. Shadowman Village, if you guys do not know, is yeah, as you can see there, Shadowman Village is where your garrison would be on Alliance. I thought it was where the Exile Village is on Draenor, but it is not. So yeah, so basically this is where Shadowman Village is. Like, I thought it would be here. But the more I look at it, maybe... Nah, it's that's correct. So that's where Lunarfall is. And that's where your place is. That's where Exile's village is. Obviously, Exile's village doesn't exist, given that Ner'zhul drank the blood, basically. $40 more. You know what really really made me sad for streaming and whatnot? Are the people who view bot, okay? Like there's a few people that view bot in like certain categories and whatnot, and they like clear, like it's clear view bot. Like they have 500 active viewers, yet only like 2 people in chat and stuff like that as well. And it's just like, bro, we know you got an embed or a view bot, like at least come clean of it. And because someone's actually what was it, Stable Ronaldo from FaZe made like 150 grand per hour per sponsored stream, and I'm like sitting there being like, I bet 100% like I guess when you make that much money, I'm assuming there's gonna be some view bots involved to make sure you get that money. To be fair, with people like that, it is less obvious, like, whether they're viewbotting or not. But there are some people where it's, like, so goddamn obvious. Like, to be fair, the most ones that are obvious are the ones who, like, get average, like, 10 to 20 viewers. And they have a dead chat, and then suddenly they have, like, you know, a semi-live chat. And the next day they have, like, 50 to 60 viewers. And their chat's, like, literally the same. It's just like, bro, you just added 50 viewers to your viewbot, mate. I think I talked about the guy that I caught, the guy that was viewbotting and selling his viewbots as a streamer package or a basic streamer setup, and he got basically exposed by a random Twitch affiliate who found out that he was also a scammer as well afterwards. Or Shadow, because Shadow, you would have heard me talk about this if you're still there. I think I talked about TJ before. Like, I think his name is T. He used to like, he pretended to be part of FaZe, could be called FaZe Cobain, and now it's called TJ Cobain. And I think I did mention him in stream where he like he was doing YouTube videos on a Forex course and whatnot. And like how he did all the YouTube thumbnails, like, ooh, you know, all these noises, like, ooh, and all those fucking faces. You know, those YouTube thumbnails. On like how do you generate lots of money from a little Forex account. The dude has gone into gold investing now as well. Like literally his YouTube videos is like going like, you know, Forex investing, gold investing. He is literally chasing all the fucking like meme trends of investing in his videos on YouTube, because I figured out what his name was. And I'm just sitting here having a giggle, being like, oh my god, this guy. And also, not to mention as well, he has 38k subscribers on YouTube, but only averages 110 views. He averages just 20% more than I do, with 560 subscribers. Which is very, very comical. Now some may be like, oh, you're just hating on the poor dude. No, this guy obviously has he's been exposed a few times. This guy is the biggest one of the biggest scammers. Like, he has done every single scam that you can think about, okay? Like, he's done the giveaway scam. He's done a Fortnite skin scam. We actually hacked people's accounts and sold them off. And whatnot. Like, he sold the accounts to someone else. Because there was one of the tweets, because this is why his account got suspended as well. One of the tweets was like a dude bought the account and he quoted TJ Cobain's name as who he bought it off. But no, that kid is still going with all these like Telegram channels and whatnot. And to be fair, these guys can make a pretty decent living on these sort of things where they have these secret Telegram channels and whatnot, where basically any smuck that comes in there, they just use them as exit liquidity. And it's a really sad fact of it all, like, that does occur, is that a lot of the people who are like, you know, you listening to these people and whatnot, like with stock tips and whatnot, a lot of these people just use them as exit liquidity because they're not regulated. And like, the people don't know any better. Like, a lot of the supposed financial advisors, they get called out and get banned by ASIC and whatnot. They're not qualified advisors, but the fucking media keeps reporting them as advisors. Like, There was this one dude who called himself like the Wolf of Australia, of the ASX or whatever. Didn't have any financial qualification backgrounds, and was giving like advice to people over YouTube on like what to invest into and whatnot. And obviously he did the dodgy with a lot of his tips and whatnot, like a lot of the advice he gave and whatnot. And a lot of people lost money from it. And obviously he gets done like probably 2 to 3 years down the track. Because obviously in Australia, like the financial advice laws are very, very strict. Like even an enticement to buy is considered a recommendation. Like for example, you say, oh yeah, Telstra looks like a good stock, you should buy it. It's considered a recommendation. But this guy was straight up flaunting and recommending stocks based on vibes, bro. And based on, oh yeah, my brother said this, or my uncle said this. And it's just like, bro, you might as well just invest on vibes. And like I say, some of his picks did not beat the ASX out. And eventually, of course, he got shut down because he shouldn't be doing that sort of shit. And then, of course, he took shots at the advisors, saying that, you know, all these other advisors don't give good advice compared to me. And I'm just like, bro, investment advice, like if your advisor specializes in investment advice, he should be a stockbroker and not a financial advisor. Only five more now. I thought I was close. But yeah, oh my god, the TJ Cobain guy, mate, like, he got, like, I asked FaZe kind of like, is he a part of your group? Because, like, I didn't think anything of it, because I'm like, oh, well, he's scamming people, and that's probably on par for FaZe, with dodgy crypto and whatnot. And he got told to take his FaZe tag down by FaZe. Because I emailed FaZe, I'm like, is this guy part of FaZe, question mark? And we're done. And obviously it turns out that he ain't a part of FaZe. I think we can get the Grizzly Hills via Dreamboard, can't we? But we're gonna find out very, very shortly if we can. Yeah, we can't get to Grizzly Hills, okay, awesome. Druids are really good at this, aren't they? The Emerald Dreamway. Wait, where is the portal? Oh wow, that's pretty cool little portal here, actually. How much do I need here? We've got another email. Okay, we need 431. Welcome back to Grizzly Hills, guys. Such a chill area. Honestly, I think in this area, I think Grizzly Hills is probably the best area to get the logs. Holy crap, I was wondering where do I go to get the to get my professions for here. I haven't been able to see a herb or a mining node yet. Maybe I can get it from Dalaran, or I can go down to Howling Field and go grab it, actually. Oh, that there it is, there's one. Gold clover. I just learn it? Nah, I don't, okay. Yeah, I think what I will do is I'll slowly make my way down south to go to Howling Field and probably go to Valgrade. The terms that they were gonna kill, the cities in, their cities in Wrath Lich King. They were going to call, I think one of the keeps was going to be called Justice Keep, something like that, instead of what it was called in the end, Valiant's Keep. There we go. There's obviously a Worgen. Shouldn't he just be on my team? Oh, to be fair, he's probably feral. But there's the Taunker. I'm a bit surprised that this area doesn't have much wood, given the fact there's a lot of trees here. I wonder if I can get this done for tomorrow. There it is. Back in there, a Lich King. This is the first zone I got to the Lich King, okay? Both in the re-release and the thingo. I've never started first in Borean on launch, ever. I always go to Howling Fjord, because Howling Fjord is, I like the zone, okay? It is alright speed. Yeah, but the second time on the re-release, I didn't take off work because I didn't think I'd play Wrath Lich King too much. And you know what happened? You know the worst part of it that happened? I was ahead of the pack in Howling Fjord. Like, I got through all the annoying quests first. And I get up to this part here, and I'm like, I think I get up to the part down here, this feeding the survivors. And I sat there being like, and I have to go to work in about 15 minutes. And I'm like sitting there being like, you know, I'm leading the pack. And I didn't take the day off where I would have definitely potentially got, you know, a level 80 title potentially if I kept going. So I was level 72 and a half, I believe. Going into it. Like, about to log off and head to work. But I think it was 72 and a half, or maybe it was 71 and a half, I'm not sure. Probably 72 and a half. I think I ended up that day in Dragonspite. Like, almost finishing Dragonspite. Because I went to my mum's house in the end, because that was one of those days where we were getting burritos. I think I finished in Dragonspite or Grizzly Hills, I forget. Because like one of the guildies, which in Angles, commented on being like, fuck Jose, like someone said like Jose's fucking pumping it. I think my name was Jose too. And I'm like, I think it was CH. I'm like, the worst thing is I have to go to work in 15 minutes. Like, this is before I knew we could work from home. But I'm like the CH, like, the worst part is I've got to go to work in 15 minutes and I didn't book a day off work. And I'm doing so well leveling. It's just like, oh, that's BL, man. Oh, shit, I can actually probably buy that, but then again, I can't make it either. Where would all the herbalism traders be in? Would they be in here?
What can I do for you? Safe travels.
Not in here. I think they are the other side. Well, actually, I think I'd say the herbalism trainer could be outside as well, given the Okay, herbalism trainer is outside. Oh, there we go, herbalism trainer.
I'm listening.
There we go. Maybe I should have played Tauren. Because obviously Tauren gets quicker herbing. Where's the axe? Oh, here. There's a quest down here for Horde, just an FYI. For Alliance, I mean, for Alliance. But yeah, like that, before the leveling that I did initially, I was ahead. But obviously I think I was 78 when we got the first 80 announcement, it was a 77. No, I think it was 77, because what happened with like the initial Wrath of Lich King launch is that some people got their copies delivered to them from America. So like the expansion launched at 3 PM our time, but the downside is that it didn't release till the next day. So some people have like 9-hour advantages going into the expansion. So like they'd already been on expansion for 9 hours. So like all the achievements of you getting your maximum, max skinning and whatnot, were gone within hours of like no one, like, obviously no one can really compete with it. Which was pretty shitty. And then obviously there were midnight releases, and I think we got ours like 24 hours after expansion had launched. And I like remember having all my dailies and things set, being in the right area to go when the expansion happened. I think after that was Cataclysm was the first time they had a digital, uniform release time, and they also had it could be digitally downloaded as well. Like it was the first, like basically BC and Wrath of Lich King, the expansions only started, like the expansion started at midnight US, which was 3 PM here, I believe, or 5 PM here, or 3 PM here. And, yeah. And Australia didn't start till a day later because, like, no one got their copies on this day. So I think they got it on the next day. And like we had people who did like work for EB and whatnot, and they basically said we're not breaking street day until tomorrow. And like one of the guys like apparently offered some extra money to him, and the guy's like, I'll lose my job over this. So unless you're gonna be paying me a wage for the next like four to 5 weeks, then I'm not interested, basically. And what ended up happening, I think it was either RAF or BC, is that someone broke street date on, I think it was either RAF or BC, someone broke street date in the Eastern States. Like, someone started releasing it from 3 PM, the day before. Which means that all other retailers can break street date, just an FYI. Because it says in the laws that at that time is that if one store broke street date, every other store is allowed to break it. Like, and they don't get punished for it. It's the only ones that broke street date. I thought I had 41 frost notices. I was like, where did I get all these frost notices from? Hey, Painful, man. Painful, have you got an 80 on fucking remix yet? I'll say no, given that you're paying Diablo a lot, I assume. I am farming everyone's favorite decor in RAF and talking about the expansions. No, I've given up on WoW? Okay. Because my character is still on remix, okay? He can do 49s now, but, you know. So I wanted to ask. Not that I'm converting it over to retail. Actually, I will show you something quickly. Look at this decor, okay? Look at that. We got most of the achievements in the game. A lot of these achievements here are just like time-based ones. And this one's a bit of a pain in the ass, actually. You're gonna still do this eventually as well. But you got a lot of those. You got a lot of these as well. This achievement here, I think one of these achievements are all PvP based. This achievement's bookstores, which is hard to get. And this achievement is the Dark Irons. And you can see here that we've got a lot of these down. A lot of these are either like achievements or they are from like expansion based. What is it? Expansion based, what do you call it? Expansion features achievements. So you can't actually get them, basically. But yeah, it's like a lot of decor, let's put it that way. I don't think I can show the decor here. I think I've got, yeah, 5,020 house experience. Which means I'll probably be house level 7 on launch. Now, I don't think I'll be able to get any further though, that's the main question. So yeah, I've done relatively well, let's put it that way, like relatively well on getting a lot of the decor. There's a few decor I still need to get from various achievements, but I don't think I'll be able to do the expansion feature achievements. Like, some of them are really out there, especially the Mechagon ones. Like, one of the Mechagon ones expects you to complete 100 expedition projects, which is like 8,000 spare parts. And I'm like sitting there being like, fuck me, that would take me like 3 to 4 hours And that's just one achievement. There are more. I've also got to do Nashatar achievements as well. And I'm gonna do the Dragonflight achievements, which is gonna be fun because I've not done anything ever in Dragonflight other than the first season. So yeah. And then also gonna do the Shadowlands as well. So yeah, that will be fairly interesting. And of course I've already done the War Within achievement. So that's been done. The BFA one I don't like. The BFA one's like more cleaning up smaller achievements on the Point X patches. But still, it's not fun. And also I got my logs done for both Outlands and Draenor. Just doing it for Finger at the moment. For Northrend. This is such a cozy little theme song. Like, you know when people say, like, you know, Grizzly Hills, like, you know, it's a really, really good? They're not wrong. They are not wrong in the slightest. They all good, dude, because I carried a few guys 249s, like, that needed it on Remix, Painful. I'm enjoying Ash's Creations. I heard that is a relatively good game. I assume Buffer is enjoying it, given the fact that Buffer hasn't returned here, so I assume he got into the server finally. Because Buffer was pretty pissed off that he wasn't able to get into the server. Because he wanted to play it, but like the servers are always full. I assume the $50 for a closed beta is like, you know, you also get the full game from it. We're gonna get Joe Burrow. I'm gonna say I would be happy to get Joe Burrow. We've actually got an offensive line. We've actually got wide receivers that don't cost 50 million. Joe Burrow isn't going to die by the other team. Joe Burrow actually has a defense. Are you gonna play Ashes? I'm not really that keen into Ashes, to be honest. I'm not really keen into too many new games, that sort of thing. Because like Ashes is one of those games that take up a lot of your time. How O-line is better than the Bengals? Exactly. That's why I said Joe Burrow won't die in the pocket. What if Wowler's down? Ashes remind me of the EVE Online RuneScape days. Yeah, it's probably a mixture of that. And the problem is with those games is you need to dedicate a lot of time to those fucking games, and it's a lot of time that I do not have. Lots of... Okay, never mind. We are never playing that game ever fucking again. Holy shit, okay? After New World, never again, okay? The amount of fucking politics pisses me off, okay? I'm one of those people that want to solve a problem and be like, yo, like, I know it fucked up, but we can't do much and that's it. But New World was fucking so annoying, okay? Holy shit. The lengths that some people wanted me to go to because I fucked up once and jokingly did something was absolutely mind-blowing. Very grindy. Of course, you know, it's one of those games. That's what I mean, but like I won't have the time to dedicate to it. Like with a lot of MMOs in particular, you only can really dedicate yourself to like 1 or 2 MMOs. Sorry, 1 MMO. But if you have no life and like your full-time job is streaming, yeah, you could probably dedicate yourself to like 5 MMOs. But you know, suppose I could check it out. Like, to be fair, New World did draw me in at the start, but I also gotta be a bit careful as well because running a business these days, weird. I always say like I'm running a business and like, you know, I'm obviously streaming, but like doing like a financial planning business and whatnot, like, you know, sometimes I'm just gonna be on call and I'm gonna do late nights and whatnot. So like it's probably not really, because even with BC coming out, and we're not sure if we're gonna have a guild for it or not. I've told my brother that I probably won't be able to raid because I can really only dedicate either to retail or dedicate either to BC. I can't really do both because, you know, since some nights I won't be able to be on because I've got to, like, let's say for example, like, you know, client wants a bit more or something like that, then I've got to work on that and use that night to work on that. Like, I think it was like when I came back from Stockholm, you guys saw that I dropped like 1 or 2 streams and whatnot, or streamed a lot later, or got on a lot later. And it's because I was doing client work, because like a lot of the things happened while I was overseas and whatnot, and I couldn't get into stuff and whatnot from there. Excuses? Yeah, I guess they're excuses, but you know, I have to do it at the end of the day. And like also over Christmas as well, this is like one of the only days and all the other 3 days before it where I spent a lot of time with my family. Even today, I had to get on and do a bit of work as well. And yesterday as well when I got back, I had to do a bit of work in the morning. So yeah, not just FYI, not that I bemoan it or have any issues with it. It's like, you know, you just gotta do it. You gotta do it. Because you know, your client is your boss now, kind of thing. And it's like, not that I don't enjoy doing it. Like, I enjoy my job so much. Like the different challenges and whatnot with financial advice. Like with a lot of people, like probably with like 90% of the people, like your financial advice will have small differences compared to other people and maybe different problems and different solutions. But overall, most of like your long-term planning is going to be the same. Like, you know, if you lose a job, stuff like that. There's going to be issues like that where there's going to be transitions and going to new fields and whatnot and like your income varying. Like there's always going to be, you know, insurances that you might need to claim and whatnot, or like wanting to put more into your retirement fund and whatnot. There's always going to be stuff like that. But the real challenges come out when people get themselves into like a financial pickle, and like there's certain things you have to do, and there's like trade-offs that you have to make. And that's when the you know, what I like the most is trying to manage those, you know, as best as I can, because that's where people need financial advice. And to be fair, the average Joe probably needs financial advice, so they don't spend time on it and spend time on what they love doing. Like for example, Painful is like a really specialized person in the medical field, and I'm very sure the last thing he wants to do is spend 1 or 2 hours checking which products for him best for him in the financial world. Actually, no, he'd probably enjoy that. Actually, I'm not sure. He probably would enjoy that. But he'd rather be 1 or 2 hours back at work making money, a lot more money than he would examining what account would be better for him, sort of thing. And there's other people who just have no clue, and they just give it to someone else to handle. We'll pay a fee for you to handle it. But anyway, I'm probably using really bad examples here. But you get my point. But yeah, I think overall I had a bit of break. Obviously, I had a break from work. Like I haven't been working like 9 to 5. Oh, not 9 to 5, 8 to 4:30 every day. So it's been relatively good. It's a good break. I've had to take a break from doing the family things all day because fuck me, like me and my brother at the end of it, me and Ross when we were driving home, I just basically said, I told mum, I'm like, I don't think I can spend every single day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. you know, at the house, like for the week. Like, you know, there's some time I want to spend to myself. And I'm like, I said to him, like, I'm really apologetic. Like, I don't want to spend every waking moment. Like, not every waking moment, but like, what is it? Like, I don't want to be from like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I'm not sure how you really express it, but you don't want to like, you sometimes get exhausted or fatigued. And yeah, that was occurring. So I'm like, yeah, we'll just, you know, spend an afternoon or spend a morning together. And then we go and do our own things. Today, we are going out to a, we're going out to like a cafe along the Swan River today. Because my dad and my dad, my stepmom, and my half siblings. But to be fair, I get told off every time I call them my half siblings. Basically my sister's like, just call them your siblings. And I just can't be not truthful, if you get what I mean. Like, to be fair, I guess I don't spend enough time with my half siblings, to be honest. I should probably spend more time with them. There is an age gap, obviously, okay? There's an age gap. Like, the oldest one is 17 at the moment. And obviously, I'm double his age. But, yeah. I've been trying to get him off because he's been playing Roblox a lot. And his stepmom's getting worried. Obviously, my stepmom's getting worried about it. And I'm like, what game do you use to get a person off Roblox? And I'm like, I could get him to play GTA 5. But I'm just also like, I didn't want to get him to play WoW either. Right, like they wanted me to try and get him off Roblox. Which I agree with. So yeah. The problem is like Roblox is now also portable. You can play it on like on iPads and whatnot. And like they also have our Steam library as well. So if they want to access all our games, they have full access to it. Like they have access to games like Expedition 33. You know, Game of the Year. How much wood have I got so far? 103, that's good. So yeah, that's a challenge. Does anyone have like a good game that like, it can't be really intense in graphics? And don't say Minecraft because we've already done that already. We've already tried Minecraft, unfortunately. We got one of our other one of my brothers, okay, half brothers, off of it. And got him playing Minecraft, and now he's hell into Rocket League, which is good because it means that Rocket League is not a game where you have to spend so much time on. Because the reason why we want to get him off Roblox is because Roblox is one of those games where you just sit there, you can sit there for hours playing it. With Rocket League, it's not like that. So yeah, it's funny how they're asking me to wean people off video games, and here I am playing fucking WoW. You know, sometimes I miss like the Mythic Plus grind, but also at other times I'm like, thank God I'm not doing the Mythic Plus grind. Otherwise, my entire stream would be Mythic Plus, Mythic Plus, Mythic Plus, Mythic Plus. I remember the first two to 3 weeks of this season, where I was just chaining Mythic Pluses back to back just to get all my gear set up. I think it was actually the first season in quite a while where I did not waste any of my runed crests, and where I was like, you know, at the top bis eye level. For, like, you know, for the first or second weeks. Well, so you know what the worst part is for next year? Next year, when the content releases, I think it's in March. I think it's like, you know, I think it's 2 weeks, isn't it? You get before the raids release. I'll only have 1 week of raiding before I go on my trip to go see my nana for her 100th birthday, and I'll spend like 2 weeks over in Europe. So, like, pretty much, like, I'll be super behind on gear, most likely. Well, to be fair, you can probably I probably could do some Mythic Pluses while I'm in England and whatnot. And get that, like, you know, at least I get, you know, the vault filled up. But, like, relatively speaking, like, from raid loot and whatnot, I'll be probably behind. So, yeah. And then I come back on the Sunday, and then I've got to de-jet lag myself in a day, basically. Because that would be like the week after Easter Monday. Just looking at some things at the moment. trying to think, maybe I should go to my dad's a bit earlier than usual. So I can give them their presents there and then. Instead of giving their presents at a different area. The main reason for that is because, yeah, at least they're not carrying it with them, I guess. But to be fair, the only big present is my dad's present. But if I do that, I can just... to be fair though, like... The place is closer to me than it is to my dad, so maybe I should just bring the presents along. I love some people. Like, okay, this is a response to, like, a belief I've always held is that I'm always the most interesting person in the room. And combined with curiosity about getting to know other people, which I think, like I say, I know one person who's like this. And they're pretty awesome, actually. And then someone's responded with careful. This is usually the people who talk way too much, who tell a lot of stories about themselves, who monopolize conversation, basically annoy everyone in the room. And if you're too curious, you sound invasive. And I'm like, bro, like... You just can't win with some people. Like, some people, like, just FY with that sort of shit. Like, their person will tell you straight up, like, oh yeah, I don't want to talk about that. I'm like, oh, okay. And that's it. And then you move the subject along. Like, I think some people got to realize, like, you know, this is, like, not specific advice. Like, if you can pick up on the hints that, you know, you want to talk about something else, then yeah. Now, if you wonder why I get to talk so much, because I have a lot of crazy experiences and amazing experiences that some people may not have lived through, or some people may not have had, because they've not been offered the same opportunities and whatnot. You know, and stuff like that. And there are opportunities that, you know, I want to have as well, and stuff like that that other people have had, and stuff like that. So, you know, I think it's always good to be curious about other people and, like, what really drives them and whatnot, and what's their main thing pushing them along. This is why, just an FYI, this is why you go on holidays to, like, even if it's like, you don't have to fly on a plane or anything like that. Like, you can just go on a holiday to, like, you know, a country town and stuff like that, and just really explore the place. To be fair, I'm gonna say I really suck at this because, like, I don't really talk to people too much. Like, when I go holidaying and whatnot, and touring and whatnot. So, yeah. But I've met some fairly interesting people in fairly interesting places as well, so it's been relatively pretty good. Like at DreamHack and whatnot as well. Like, for example, I met... Okay, this is actually quite funny, okay? So I met the coach that coached Game of Legion and Direwolves, which is DJL, and also Talon. And I didn't realize it was fucking DJL, okay? Until, like, halfway through until I realized, like, that was him. Like, he was baiting me to say that he was crap. And I had talked... This is actually quite a funny story, actually. I had talked to his girlfriend before about, like, other stuff. So, essentially what happened is that... Let's talk about how I talked to his girlfriend first of all, okay? Well, they could be fiancé, I have no idea, actually, at this stage. But, okay, so his girlfriend... Okay, we went out with... Some people went out for smoking. I just go out to get a bit of fresh air. Because sometimes you can get hot and stuffy in O'Leary's. And basically, I was chilling with Rosie and a few others. And this lady came out and asked for a light, for a cigarette. And a light. And she came out without a jacket, which is, I'm going to say right now, when Stockholm is like 0 degrees, it's not good. And I ended up giving her my jacket. Or was it, I'm trying to think who gave the jacket. Was it either Cola or was it me? I'm trying to remember. Because I think Cola took his... I think we both gave the jacket. But I think she took Cola's until Cola had to go back inside or something like that. I'm trying to remember it. But I'm not sure. But I do recall giving her my jacket. Because I was just wearing my heroic top at the time. Like I was wearing this top. Because I was too warm, funnily enough. And I think the jacket I had was the Fremantle Dockers jacket. No, it wasn't the Fremantle Dockers. I didn't bring that. It was the... No, it was the Fremantle Dockers jacket I gave to her because she was cold. And the reason she took my jacket is because my jacket fitted. Because all the other ones were too big for her. But the funniest part was when she was having with the bigger jacket. Like, she was wanting to smoke so bad that she had this jacket on. And she was, like, curling up like this to stay warm, trying to light up her cigarette. Okay, like, she was curled up like a, She was just curled up like... I'm not sure how you really explain it, but she was, like, super curled up. Like, she was cold and also wanted to smoke. And I'm like, I could take a picture of you right now and it'd be like the desperation that nicotine gets you, okay? That you would go outside, no jacket, no nothing, just to smoke a cigarette. And, I'm trying to think of what her name was. Her name is a, Oh. It was similar to one of the Space Jam, either way. So, I saw that she was with DJL, and basically, obviously, she was like hinting when DJL was trying to get me to say something bad about him, that it was him, like that, like who was talking about who he was, and I'm like, nah, bro, like you're like one of the like you did a really good thing for Game of Legion and whatnot, like help talked him up in front of her. Because like he did a really good job on Game of Legion because he saved them from being basically irrelevant. Like in the early stages of Game of Legion. So yeah, and yeah, I met him just as the party was ending on the last day, I think it was, and we were just all hanging out. But it was relatively good. I completely forgot her name though, his girlfriend's name. It was just so funny because I was like talking with her for like I think good like 15 to 20 minutes. Because we were just vibing as like everyone was smoking and whatnot. And I was talking with other people and looked at her to see if like she got a cigarette lit or not. Because she took like about good 3 to 4 minutes because obviously she was shaking, so it's hard to light the cigarette. To light up her cigarette. It's just so funny. So my sister's asking me something on Facebook. So potentially might have to go sooner rather than later. But that was an experience. I was having a good chuckle with that one. But yeah, I think I was very lucky that day that I chose to because with the other jump bar, which is the Rosie River hoodie, it's not a quick takeoff. You have to like flip the shirt up. Like you have to take the entire jumper off. But with the Fremantle Dockers jacket and whatnot, it's just a zip one, so you can just put it around someone really quickly. I'm not sure. God, I've got 169 already. I started on 1, remember guys? I started on 1. But yeah, that's how I met DJL. Also as well, I did actually talk to Flammus, but we'll try. I was trying to help Flammus out and getting him a girl for the evening. Like, oh, that's right. The girls that he was chatting to didn't believe he was a CS player. Okay, didn't believe that he was a CS player. Like he competed in the major. Like these ladies were not we're not believing him that he played in the major, and I'm like, no, he did. Like this guy played in the major. He played for Gamer Legion. He's like known as the most happiest guy in Shanghai. And I don't think I showed a clip, but they believed him after that. So with me vouching for him, that he played in the major. Like I think they didn't believe he played in the major. I'm like, no, he played in the major. And then obviously, of course, Cadian, I gotta say, he saved me from saying something awkward, and he just turned the conversation around. Cadian was very, very good. I said my joke didn't land. Let's just put it that way, okay? And Cadian like saved it so badly, by the way. Right, you can... This is an interesting way back to Howling Fjord. Funnily enough, this is not a way I've been to Howling Fjord. I assume this is the... No, it's not the Alliance's way to Howling Fjord. It's just you can go that way. Oh no, yeah, I've been that way to Grizzly Hills, never mind. One time I killed so many mobs, they got to like this area and went into Grizzly Hills that way. Like I say, I remember when BC and RAF had this different levels of mobs. Like basically the mobs were level 70, level 80. And I remembered what Blizzard did was they squished down the mobs to be the same level. So like, for example, like when you hit level 60 in Classic, you could either go to RAF Lich King or BC. And a lot of people chose RAF because RAF is a lot easier to go through. But the downside though, which is Blizzard didn't realize, is that once you hit level 71 or 72, is that the quicker way to level wasn't actually by doing BC or RAF Lich King quests. It was actually going back to Karazhan and soloing that raid. And the reason why you could solo it at level 71 and 72 is that with legacy content, every level that you are above a dungeon, you do a certain percent of extra damage. I think it was like 50% per level. So like people were doing 100% extra damage, and also they do 100% they do like things like 20% less damage to you. People were like mass pulling trash mobs there and getting like, I think it was like 4.5k EXP per kill. And what they would do is that they would pull all the trash mobs in the instance, you know, up to Morose, up to Ataman, up to Maiden. And obviously they wouldn't pull any of them. And then up to Opera, and then they'll reset the instance, because you can reset raid instances if you don't kill any bosses. And they'll just continuously do that over and over again. And you got like tons of EXP, and it took like, I think it took like 5 or 6 runs, and you would get like level 80. And like the runs took like generally 10 to 15 minutes each. So like you could go from like 72 to 80 in about, yeah, in about like an hour or so. And then also as well, you could also try to get to 81 and 82. But at that point, the EXP drops off tremendously. But it's like absolutely crazy how fast you could level in Karazhan. From, I think it was from, because the mobs don't increase in levels with you, but they are level 70. But you just like sped through, because I think they turned grey at 80. Actually, yeah, never mind. They turned grey at 80. So, like, after 81 and 82, they were just worthless. Oh, no, that's right. They turned grey after 81 or 80. Because the mobs are level 70 or 71. And, like, even when they were green, they still give decent EXP. Like, it's like, between 72 and 76 or 77, they, like, give insane amounts of EXP and you just speed for everything. But as soon as you get to, like, 78, 79, it becomes a lot slower. But it's still better than leveling in any other area. But yeah, it was insanely quick how that used to be back in the day. Obviously now that doesn't work because I'm not sure. Maybe it does work actually, but it's just not worth it because like getting to Karazhan was like the big downside, a big trade-off was getting to Karazhan. But the leveling experience these days is like, you know, from a few quests, like from like 2 or 3 quests, you can get a level. And Karazhan's just too slow now. But like for some time, like that was the best way to level. Was just basically spam Kara until about 80. And then at 80 you went into Mr. Pandaria. Or is it? No, you went to Kata at level 80. And then you went to Pandaria, and then you went to and then you went to Warlords of Draenor. And then to Legion. And I also always remembered, like, you know, to level 100 in Draenor, it's 4 hours to get to level 100. Starting from Frostfire Ridge. And now obviously that's decreased tremendously because, yeah. Like, you used to get level 100, like, before Talador. Or just before, no, sorry. Yeah, just while you're halfway, while you're like finishing, no, you used to get level 100 in the at the start of Spires. These days, you probably get level, like max level before you even touch Talador. I remember in BC, for example, that for the leveling process on BC for when I did Mega Jack back in the day, which is the rogue that we chose TBC to do. I was max level by the time I finished, almost finished Hellfire Peninsula, that I had to like go and skip the zone to do Shadowmoon Valley. And like the sad part was like when you got to level 70, I think it was, because I did another level squish obviously. When you got to like level 70, you were forced to go to Dragon Isles. So when you got to level 60, I mean, you were forced to go to Dragon Isles. Like it wouldn't let you level up past level 60. In that expansion, which was really frustrating because basically pretty much what it did was that it basically put you into the current world scenario and all your Shadowmoon quests were now level 30 quests, like, which was the highest level for that zone, which is really, really sad because I wanted to like finish off the Shadowmoon quest line. But now, since everything was laughably easy, I just went straight into Dragon Isle. I don't think I finished Dragon Isles on that too in the end. Because I was just showing BC off to everyone. But like in a lot of these days for like leveling, you really only get, like I did Classic with my Irvin, and you really only get to show off 3 zones before you are, you know, you are done. You are ported to the maximum level zone. Like you really only get like 3 zones to level through. So I think on mine I did Dark Shore. Trying to think of the other zones I did. It was Dark Shore. I don't think it was Arafi. Well, like I did very few zones before I got ported to Donegal. And in Dark Shore, I got to like level like 57 or something like that. It was like ridiculous how quick I was leveling. I think it was like Dark Shore and a bit of Desolus. And then I got ported out. Like everything turned level 30. It's also happened in Eversong Woods as well, where like everything is level 10. Like as soon as you hit level 10 and go to level 11 or level 12, like everything just stays level 10 in Eversong Woods. And also they gotta fix some of the scaling in Eversong Woods. There's a mob that does 90% of your HP in Eversong Woods, and they never tuned it for scaling because it was meant to be against like level 1 mobs where it would do like a certain amount of your health. But they never scaled it down from this item squish. So now it's doing 90% of people's HP. Okay, we're not going to have having to go earlier today. I guess I write that whoever Evan Loves Wharf is the most clueless cunt I've ever seen in existence. Like this guy suggested that like Asmongold's a bad person because he wanted. Okay, so Asmongold wanted this. He's not interested in voting unless politicians commit to denaturalizing and deporting the entire family of Somali's fraudsters. Okay. Like talking about obviously the people who've dedicated families to running fake childcare centers to get government money. And the main thing of that is just basically out the fraudsters before it happens, so the family doesn't get deported. That's the main aim of it. Like a lot of these heavy-handed sort of things like that are the main deterrent. This is me having to fucking defend Asmongold out of all people. Is a deterrent to make sure they report those people in the future, so they, you know, they're risking their citizenship and whatnot. And if anyone goes like, "Oh, that's just horrible to people," and I'm like, you don't want those kinds of people in your country. That, you know, that are defrauding your people effectively, or using other people's money for like, you know, own lifestyle and whatnot without earning it or producing anything. And what that does in particular, it just keeps people in line and be like, hey guys, let's provide something to the country. If we don't provide anything to a country, we're gonna get deported, especially if we defraud people. And like these sort of policies do come in the case like with a lot of visa holders and whatnot. Like if you commit a crime or you break your visa provisions, I don't know what I moved off my bar, but if you remove these provisions, you get deported. Like simply put, like for example, if you come in on a student visa and you start working full time, you are going to get deported because that's not a condition of your visa. Your condition of visa is come here and study. Now, obviously, those visas can evolve into like a full-time visa or a production visa or anything like that. But, you know, it's obviously unique circumstance to circumstance sort of thing. But, like, the sort of thing what Asmongold's arguing for in America is what some what even Australia and some other countries do, is that if the person who got the visa initially and then got his family and stuff in here starts defrauding and starts, you know, doing crimes and whatnot, all of them get deported. Now, obviously, that's a different case, mind you. Okay, that's a different case from what he's arguing, which is that if a person gets caught doing fraud, that they should be deported as well as their family, as well as their family as well. And I think that's probably a good thing, because overall, people you want in your country are people who are providing a service, and if they're like stealing shit from your gut, stealing taxpayers' money, that's stealing, bro. Like, that's not a good thing. I don't think a country has ever said, oh yeah, you know, give me your criminals and we will, you know, we'll provide for them, sort of thing. I don't think any country has ever said that in the history of time. And also, this is the other one. People who are arguing for birthright citizenship. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. No country in the world but America has birthright citizenship. Like, complete birthright citizenship. Not even Europe. Like, it's absolutely crazy. Like, someone's gonna be like, oh, but Australia has it. Like, no, one of your parents have to be a citizen of Australia before your kid's considered a citizen of Australia. So, like, if they're both permanent residents, your kid is a permanent resident, is not a citizen. Like this is the funny part, is Europeans are telling Americans that they should have birthright citizenship, like, straight up. And I'm just like, you know, your country doesn't have it, right? Like, you're not a citizen of the country that you're birthed into, unless one of your parents is a citizen. Like, in Australia, for example, there's two British citizens, had a kid here. The kid wasn't an Australian citizen. He was made a British citizen, obviously, because he's born to British parents. But yeah, it was relatively funny. And I've had to talk to some of these guys. I'm like, you know that like, nowhere else in the world has a anchor baby policy like America, where, like, if you're born in America, you're a citizen regardless of your parents' origin. And there are, like, even some people in particular, because I have a client where their son was born in America because they were holidaying when she had a baby. Like, she had, you know, her water broke while she was in America vacationing, obviously an early birth. And he gets letters from the IRS demanding his taxable income. He still gets letters to the IRS, and they just ignore him because he resides in Australia. He does not need to pay any tax to the Americans, and he's not even though he's an American citizen, he's not an American resident. But they keep mailing him because he's technically an American citizen because he was born in America. And we have this conversation every time about it with the client. And I'm just like, yeah, man, like, given how many people are arguing for it, you guys must be the only people who don't want it, given how many letters you receive from the American government. So yeah, that was relatively funny. But this is different, obviously. So overall, I'm gonna say I would, like, if I was in government, I'd probably have that as well for a lot of my permanent residents. That if you do a crime, obviously fraud is a crime, just an FYI, and you defraud people, your permanent residency gets cancelled. Like, if you do a certain level of crime. Like, for example, fraud over X amounts or stuff like that. You know, if it's like stealing like a $20 bag of lollies, you're not gonna get deported over that. Like, you know, it's a limit. Both a quantity and a quality limit. So, for example, let's say you steal over 50 grand, you get deported. If you've been convicted of stealing 10 times, you get deported. Stuff like that. Now it's going to obviously be very, very hard to like try and match that, but like, match it and mix it and whatnot. And obviously, like I say, any assault above it, like any aggravated assault or GBH, or potentially, or obviously murder, of course, you get deported. Like your visa's cancelled and you're in jail, and you get deported the moment of your release. Because like simply, you just don't have the time to like, you don't have the like, it's a privilege, not a right, to live in someone else's country. And people need to realize that as well. It's a privilege to live in another country. And work for them. But I gotta say, I wonder, like, if these left-leaning people in particular ever look at themselves in a mirror and be like, guys, maybe this is not a good idea. Like I wonder if they ever look at themselves in a mirror and, like, think about the consequences of their actions. Or the consequences of their policy. Because they're like, there's a lot of them in particular who are, like, very pro-lockdown. Now, I gotta say I was pro-lockdown because I'm like, yeah, okay, I weighed up the risks and therefore the lockdown was much better. Some of these people were just pro-lockdown straight up. Didn't even consider the consequences. Because you want to know how, or you want to know why, how I know they never consider the consequences? They bitched about inflation. Like, they bitched about inflation after it occurred. I'm like, what do you expect was going to happen? You know, money's just going to fall out the sky and everyone's going to keep living? Shadow's gonna be like, yes, that's what I expect to happen. But no, like, for example, like, you know, logistics and stuff like that, all impacting on those areas, and they're gonna pass on the cost somehow, so they're gonna raise their prices so they stay in business. And that's exactly what happened. And then the construction, this entire, just FYI, this entire issue with housing and whatnot in Australia has been because of the lockdowns. Like, it's partially because of the lockdowns. Because the prices inflated, logistics became increasingly harder. What happened was that the government had a program to try and shift the economy over, that any renos and any buildings to be done got an extra 10 to 20 grand. The builders took those up thinking that, hey, you know, we can get a quick buck out of it. They realized that, oh, maybe that all the stuff they got from the government wasn't enough to cover the cost of the materials increasing because of the lockdowns and because of all the procedures they had to introduce to make sure that COVID didn't spread. And it left a lot of construction companies and building companies with a lot of losing contracts that they couldn't raise the price on. So they just went bankrupt. And then they had like merge and other building firms that acquired them and whatnot as well. And that's where it is at the moment. And this is now why there's a lack of housing or deficit of housing in Australia. And then Albanese, in his infinite wisdom, didn't want to be a prime minister that went over held a deficit or held a recession. He imported more people so it would be a positive. So there wouldn't be a recession because everybody coming in, generally speaking, like a skilled worker, adds to GDP. But per capita, it was negative. Like it was a recession, but by per capita. And that's because he imported more people in. But then the problem is that we haven't built enough houses because the government took money out of their social housing stuff. And there's not many construction companies building houses. It's coming to the situation where it's just like, so rent goes up and house prices go up. And then you know what they do? Government's like, we're just gonna subsidize demand, guys. And it's like, no, it's not fucking demand, it's supply. It's always been fucking supply. Like they gave that 5% Kisa. Like, it's not demand though, bro. It's not demand. It's fucking supply. The funny part is, like, you know, explain this like entire easy to follow events to one of the political reactionaries in Australia. No response to my comment. They have not responded to my comment or reply to this day, explaining why this has occurred. I'm like, I don't think it's, like I say, I think it's both governments' fault. Like, I basically explained to them what happened. Like with the builders' contracts and whatnot, builders went broke, government took money out of the social housing market. And that's why we're in a situation where we have a lack of housing. It's a combination of multiple factors. Because a lot of people are trying to do this. Oh, the immigration increase is at fault for it. Like, it is a part of it. Because they need to be housed somewhere. What do you think? We keep them under the fucking floorboards? They need a house. Then everyone needs a dwelling. Everyone needs somewhere to live. And obviously this has contributed to it because they always blame rich people, okay? The fucking... I'm going to say overall, before I finish my point, they always blame rich people. Like, it's rich people's fault. Like, no, it's not rich people's fault. This would have occurred if we had no rich people in Australia. This would have occurred regardless. Because they basically said rich people bought up all the property, therefore there's no affordable property, which is not the case. Like, in Australia, if you had no rich people, like right now, it would still be a property issue. Because there's not enough properties. But, you know, that's not the answer they want to hear. The answer they want to hear is we need to tax the rich more. Because, you know, the rich people are an easy target because you don't have to picture them. And you just assume every rich person's Donald Trump. And it's easy. You know, it's easy. It makes them feel good. Makes it feel like they're doing something when they're actually doing fucking all nothing. And all they're doing is, like, giving the government to raise income tax. And this is another one that I told one of them and also no response as well. Rich people never ever exceed the 30% tax bracket. Like, it's very rare for a rich person to be in the 37% tax bracket. So all you're punishing is all the FIFO workers who can't reduce their income. They may get paid $250,000, these FIFO workers, but in reality, they probably get paid about $150,000 net. And about every dollar they earn, the government takes half of it. Because they're taxed at effectively 47%. That's obviously above their salary, of course. Now, someone may go to average tax rates a lot lower. I'm talking about every dollar above their salary, which is 47%. And do they want to talk about it? No, they don't want to talk about it. Because all of them have little to no understanding of the financial system or the taxation system. So just remember, guys, okay? If you want to fix this housing problem, start building more houses, okay? Get out there, get your hammer, get your Milwaukee tool kit from your local Bunnings. Then you'll run into council approval. And then you'll see why building a house is fucking really difficult. Get to your local Bunnings, buy planks of woods, and start building a house, okay? To be fair, a lot of people are starting to build houses out of cargo containers and whatnot these days. So yeah, like overall, like a lot of this is the funny part because I love it when political reactionaries call out other political reactionaries for being grifters, and I'm like, bro, you're a grifter too. Like, it's literally the Spider-Man meme. They're pointing at each other. They're both grifters. So yeah. That's one thing, okay? That's one thing. And like, will this issue get solved? It'll eventually get solved. In fact, what will happen is we'll probably build too many houses. And what's happening at the moment, if you go to Sydney or Melbourne, because I've seen this with my eyes, of course, because I have them. When I went to Sydney and when I went to Melbourne and Brisbane, there are so many high rises being built in those areas, like so many of them, like tons of them. You see construction everywhere. That is going to drop prices, okay? Because obviously the people who are offering to pay more are going to get their home then and stuff like that. And there will come a point where we build too much and it'll go back into a buyer's market again. Potentially. Alternatively, what happens, generally speaking, is that property developers and the government are in cahoots and they'll drip feed land to keep it expensive. Like I say, the IMF hasn't told Australia off for this, by the way. Or the IMF has told Australia off for this. Is that they basically said to Australia, like, guys, like, you can't have your economy just be tied to the, tied to your mortgages and your property market. So if you don't know how that works as an engine, so with tying your property market to your economy, what they do is that they drip feed land, so land's more expensive, therefore you have to get a high enough mortgage, so you have to get a mortgage from a bank, and then the bank gains interest on it. So that's how it works, that's how the property market works, is like a giant circle kind of thing. Where the banks benefit, the property developers benefit, and obviously the person owning the house, I guess, benefits because they have a house, I suppose. But like, it's keeping the economy afloat, and also not to mention as well, the government receives stamp duty from it, and GST. So the IMF has basically said, like, you're not really producing any assets in this, you know, in this scenario. Your market's being propped up by you keeping property as scarce when it's not actually scarce. Which leads me to my next question. If you really want an economy, start supporting BHP, Rio, Woodside, and Santos, and stop fucking trying to squeeze their balls at every opportunity. So we can have a different industry in Australia. And also, this is the worst thing about our logging industry getting fucking cleaned up as well in Tasmania. So it's like, guys, we need it. And also our like Labor trying to clamp down on our farming industry of no live export. It's just like, bro, just let the other industries fucking exist. We can't, like, the IMF has told us off for using the property, bank, and land slow drip as an income generator. They've told us off for this. It just doesn't work long term. They probably won't listen, but you know, what can you do? So that's one part of Australia's economy is that. And it's because like all the main industries benefit from it. The banks benefit from it, the government benefits from it, so they get a bit of a win. And the property developer gets it. And also the person who owns the property gets a property. But the problem is that eventually has to come down because push is going to come to shove when you don't produce anything. And then people don't want property in a country that doesn't produce anything or there's no jobs available for them. Sort of thing. You can't keep your mortgage and land and stuff turn wheel going forever. You actually have to have an industry that produces something. Crazy concept, I know. Okay, I think that'll be it for today. We got 313 wood. That's actually really, really good. Holy shit. How much wood do we need to get? We gotta double check. We could have actually... No, we need 431. Right, to kind of fix that issue without really completely destroying the market, is that at some point you just got to keep house prices where they are, okay? Like have them just achieve a little bit of appreciation, but not too much. And this is what you call death by 1,000 cuts, where the property market underperforms for a long time to allow supply to catch up and to not let this house prices like completely run away with everything. Because it also doesn't spook the person purchasing the property because they haven't lost anything on paper. So there's no fire sale or anything like that. The people who are renting houses as well, they're getting money from rent. But just it doesn't spook the people to panic selling or anything like that. But yeah, you know, as I said before, they've been told off. The Australian government has been told off for enabling this sort of behaviour in their economy. They told them straight up that's not sustainable. And I'm like, yeah, it's not sustainable. It's like, well, duh. Okay, let's try to find a inn. Is there an inn here? I forget. Oh, yeah, it's right here. Alright, guys. Hope you guys have a good one. Hope you guys have a great New Year's. Happy New Year's. And I'll see you guys, depending if I get on today. But if not, we'll see you guys next year. See ya.